All right, guys. Playoffs are set for IEM Dallas. It has been wild in the last few days because of the sleeping schedule. I stayed up to watch all the games throughout the group stage, and it's a pretty good show so far. It's a pretty good Counter Strike. I expected a much less, especially after the major, but it's been some good games, and the playoffs are pretty good. And today we're going to be talking about the whole playoffs preview kind of thing. So we have obviously two quarterfinals, and we have heroic events waiting in the semis. Now the first quarterfinal is Astralis Mouse, and the second one is the better one, I guess, the against G2 and FaZe, and the winner of that will face Ants, and obviously the winner of Astralis Mouse will face Heroic. Now, the good thing about this bracket is the final is best of three, it's not best of five. We all want that. And let's see the first quarterfinal. Obviously, we can start with that. And Astralis Mouse. Now, Astralis played some decent Counter Strike, you know, especially actually in every game against Liquid. They started poorly in overpass. They managed to turn it around. They couldn't close it. They won in overtime, and they destroyed Cloud9. It was just a one-way traffic all over the place. The device is playing out of his mind right now, and it's just he's the sole, and obviously the blame F is sole reasons like why they're here where they are in the playoffs finally after so much time. Obviously, the new kids, Altex and Buzz, are playing like up and down here and there. Some bad games, some good games. Overall, what you can expect from the kids that are playing the first time on LAN with the squad, and it's just not really ready to be judged yet. And I think there is a lot more time and space for them to kind of grow. But so far, so good. Like I said, they played last night against Ents, and it was a pretty close game. I think Australis could have won that, especially on Nuke, but they managed to kind of screw it up in the later part of the map. It was like four. They were up. First, they were down 12-10. Then they managed to go to 14-12, and they lost a pistol against a pistol round against pistols. And a couple of rounds after that, they managed to get it to overtime, but couldn't really close it. So I think they could have won this in the 2-0 fashion, and we would see them in the place of Ants, but they didn't. They managed to lose the Mirage 2 after that and found themselves in the quarters against Mouse. Now, Mouse on the other side had a decent showing. They seem to be pretty in a better shape mentally and obviously in game, rather than on the major, which they've just bombed out. They looked like the worst team there, but now they look much better. And they're going to be a decent opponent to Astralis. I think this game is straight up 50-50. I don't think it's so easy to predict any of the winners here, but I'm looking at Mouse. Let me see, who did they defeat? They defeated OG. Let me see if I can check it. They defeated OG 2-0, Furia 2-0, and they lost to Heroic pretty easily. And in the opener, they beat Fnatic. So they had some good games, and obviously against Heroic, which is the best team right now on this event, like by far so far. It was an easy game for Heroic there, but overall, Mouse played better than Astralis, I believe. Even though Astralis beat Cloud9, I think they're looking, like I said, they're looking much better. The only thing that was like worrying for me is the fact that Exertion was sick, so kind of I didn't know what to expect. Maybe they would lose or something. They played well and they got themselves in the playoffs. So looking at this game, the only thing that I'm afraid for Astralis and why I'm gonna go with Mouse is the fact that Astralis had to rely a lot on the clutches and the plays from Device, who is in great form. I don't think that he can play on that level for so many games without any support. And if he drops down a little bit and the other guys stay the same, this is going to be a Mouse win. But I have been predicting Astralis wrong in the last few tournaments. But overall, I do believe Mouse is going to win this one and to go into the semis against Heroic. Now, the second quarterfinal is obviously, like I said, the more interesting one against G2 and FaZe. FaZe, who beat Cloud9 last night in 2-1 fashion. They managed to lose their own map pick relatively easy on Inferno, which is a good news for G2. And they managed to close it out on Ancient. But I'm looking at G2 here, and what I saw was not good at all. It was just terrible. In sense that they look like they checked out completely. Even the rounds they're winning, there is no energy, there is no fire, there is nothing happening behind them. Like it's just behind those, like obviously behind those wins, it's just very very flat in terms of body language, in terms of like I said, the passion and everything. And I mean, when you go down to the individual form, you can see that they dropped off massively. You know, Nico is not performing. He has good numbers, but there he doesn't have Nico numbers, so that's not good enough. Obviously, JKS is nowhere to be seen. Monesi is a ghost again. Hunter is dropped off as well. I'm not even gonna talk about Hooksy anymore. Like it's just you saw it yourself. It just has no value, no impact, no makes no difference in whatever this is going on now. G2 played well against OG. You know, they played really good against OG, and obviously against Nouns, they were they were obviously the favorites, and they got that very easily. But against OG, it was a pretty scary game to watch for if you are the OG fan. GT was like demolishing them everywhere, and I don't know, against Heroic yesterday or the day before, they just look completely flat, and that's the troubling sign. I don't think they are gonna be able to deal with phase in such a state. Now, maybe the fact that there is a that's a matchup against phase will give them a little bit more fire, maybe a little bit more emotions, but it doesn't really look like that. They look like, now I don't know anything. I'm gonna say it like right here, so you can have it, recorded forever. I don't know anything, but I suspect something is happening in that team. I don't know what. I never speak to Nico about his team, about the things in his team. I never ask players about what's going on inside their team, and like I said, it seems that something is going on. I don't know. Anyway, phase. Phase also looked. I don't think they're gonna change anything yet, but they look very tired. They look very exhausted. They look like they just want to get it over with so they can finish this and I think blast in Washington if they're there, and just want to go and have a break. That's how it looks like to me. But they do have some energy. I saw them in the previous games, especially against Cloud9. They're fired up. They're like yelling. Unlike G2, they're like they're they want to win. You can see it. It's not like they don't want it. It's a difference between G2 and FaZe. When it comes to that, obviously the skill gap is very small. There is no, too much of a gap there. I think they're pretty evenly matched, and I think that a little bit more passion and a little bit more energy and a little bit more motivation for this tournament will be the thing that's gonna get FaZe over the hump and get them into the semis. And that would close out the quarterfinals. Now we would have Heroic. Obviously, I don't have the option here, but Heroic against Mouse, and this is going to be a one way traffic completely. Heroic is looking very good. It feels like after the major, the way it looks like, at least, because they demolished everybody they had in front of them in this event, and it was let me see. So yeah, they destroyed Mouse, they destroyed G2, and obviously they beat 9Z, which was the easier part. But whoever they faced, they dominated in the whole way. And I think Mouse is obviously one of them. I think that is going to be the case again. I do believe it's going to be a straight up 2. I don't think they can match them. I think Heroic looks like they're going to finally win this event, or an event, or they're going to finally win the grand final. the thing is, like, it looks like the bunch of pressure came off their chest after they got eliminated from Rio, from Major, from Paris. So it looks like they're like, just, yeah, fuck it, let's just play the way we play, and that's it. That's how it looks like on the camera. I don't know myself, but I would rate them to go into the finals. Ants against FaZe. Now, I said this before. Ants is a team that's better than FaZe right now. I think in every aspect. In this moment, obviously not in the, if you can look at like the whole year, 12 months behind, or a year and a half, whatever. Like right now, today in June 1st, you can say that Ants is a better team than FaZe, especially because, like I said, FaZe is very tired, very exhausted, very the motivation and the energy are not all there. It's just the tanks are very empty. So it's a little bit fuel left, and I think Ants on that account can also be. They beat them once before, and it was it a 2-0 or 2-1? I think it was a 2-0 on Anubis, and yeah, it was on Anubis and Overpass. So it's just, for me, this is just also going to be, it can go to three maps here, but I think Ansel will come out as a winner simply because they have that extra rest, they have that extra preparation, they have a good map pool against FaZe, and they seem to play good against FaZe. On top of the fact that FaZe is not really on their best form right now, I think it's going to be a win for Ants. It's not going to be easy, but it might go to three maps. But I do think Ants is going to be the winner in that semifinal. And now we will have the grand final between Heroic and Ants. Now, in my opinion, this is the time where Heroic wins the map, and they win it convincingly 2-0. And I think they're going to lift the trophy here finally. But it's a little bit too late because they already lost the three finals. They lost the semis of the major twice, once against and one grand finals, and the most recently, obviously, against Gamer Legion in that ridiculous game where they were just ghosts. I think that's no longer happening. I do believe they're the best team right now. They show the best form, absolutely 1.5 class above every other team on this event. And it's simply the way it is. You can see in their games, you can see in their demeanor, body language, you can see that they are enjoying a little bit more than everybody else what's going on in Dallas. So I would give them the number one seed here, and definitely in the game against Ants, they the map pool is not that bad for them. They can go with whatever they want, and I do think the pressure is gonna come in a little bit for Ants. You know how they do in the finals and in the semifinals. They always kind of tend to play below expectations, but they did play well so far, and they're gonna be in the finals, I do believe. But that's gonna be the last stop for them, and I think Heroic is just, for this event, they're just too strong. They look too strong. I don't think that's gonna change, and I do think they're gonna win the finals. I think that covers up uh, a short preview because the quarterfinals are tomorrow night. And just to remind you guys that you probably noticed, but you already know so far, that 1xBet is an official partner of this type of content. And if you go there and register, if you're a betting person and you're over 18, make sure you use code 1x Kassad or Kassad1x. You have it down in the description, and you get up to 130 euro bonus directly from me. And if you like this type of content, guys, just make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Who do you think is going to win, or was I right or was I wrong on any kind of topic here? So, and let's see who's gonna win Dallas. Who's gonna win all that money? You see how much is it? Yeah, 100K in a spot at IEM Cologne. So it's a fair bit of money. So enjoy the playoffs, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. See ya.